Hi, I'm Claire, and welcome to Crash Course History of Medicine. Today we're delving into the world of ancient medicine, where two of history's greatest thinkers, no, there we go. Hippocrates and Galen laid the foundation for our understanding of health and disease. Now, this is crazy because this was a time before germs were even theorized, those timey-wimey, squibbly-wibbly things, which we sort of base the entirety of medicine on. Well, at least most of modern medicine seems to be on a microscopic scale, which was just unfathomable during Hippocrates and Galen's time. So we're just gonna ignore them for today, because what harm could these small things even do? It's not like they're gonna cause an epidemic. Born around 460 BCE on the island of Kos, Hippocrates lived in a time when disease was believed to be punishment from the gods. So if you became seriously ill, you would have traveled to the temple of Asclepius, the Greek god of healing, to pray, offer gifts, maybe sacrifice a sheep or two, and sleep in the temple, hoping for a divine dream, which you would then tell to the priest, and the priest would somehow interpret how to heal you. In short, medicine was part religion, part guessing, and not much science, like using tarot cards to cure coronavirus. But Hippocrates, being the great thinker that he was, said he believed that diseases had natural causes and that doctors could discover them through careful observation. With this, he emphasized three key principles. 1. Observation, 2. Lifestyle and diet, and 3. Ethics, things like do not harm, among other ideas in the Hippocratic Oath. So instead of praying, Hippocrates told doctors to watch and listen, that they should examine patients' bodies, note symptoms, and keep records. In fact, he and his followers wrote down so much that we still have a collection of their works today, the Hippocratic Corpus. According to Hippocrates, your body was made up of 4 humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. He believed that blood came from the heart, phlegm from the liver, yellow bile from the spleen, and black bile from the brain. These were then linked to the 4 elements: fire, water, earth, and air. And before you ask, no, balancing them does not make you the avatar, just slightly less phlegm. Back then, it was a physician's job to restore the humors so that the 4 nations could live in harmony. So that you could be healthy. But how did Hippocrates diagnose his patients? Well, Hippocrates basically invented the bedside manner. He told doctors to study everything, observing appearance, listening to breathing, feeling pulse, even smelling or tasting fluids. Yuck. Then, using his observations, he would decide which humor was out of balance. Cold and clammy, too much phlegm, boom, eat something hot and dry. Feverish and cranky, too much yellow bile, time for a cool down, literally. Now, Hippocrates was cool because he focused on treating his patients as a whole. He basically invented the scientific method, which I would say is pretty impressive for a guy diagnosing you by how your armpits smell. Fast forward about 500 years and we meet Galen of Pergamon, born around 130 CE in what is now Turkey. Not that Turkey. By Galen's time, Hippocrates was ancient history, but his ideas were floating around in different schools of medicine. Basically, Hippocrates walked so Galen could run. Unlike Hippocrates, who practiced medicine in ancient Greece, Galen rose to fame in the Roman Empire, serving as a physician to gladiators and emperors, most notably Marcus Aurelius, who said that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Now, Galen was an avid experimenter. At the time, dissecting human cadavers was forbidden, so in order to understand anatomy, Galen dissected animals, studying these in great detail, writing over 300 works on medicine. In one famous test, he tied off an animal's arteries to prove that they carried blood, not air, which was a pretty big deal back then. Galen kept Hippocrates' 4 humors, but made it more systematic. Basically, he took the 4 humors and said, cool idea, but let's add organs. He believed that sickness wasn't just your fluids, but also your anatomy. With this, Galen refined the 4 humors theory, linking each fluid to a personality type. Let's add some spice. Blood to sanguine, yellow bile to choleric, black bile to melancholic, and phlegm to phlegmatic. He also added the 4 qualities: hot, cold, wet, and dry. On top of Hippocrates' method of diagnosis, Galen added observation of temperament, as he believed personality was tied to the dominant humors, and he primarily cured patients with opposites-based therapy. Basically, hot cures cold, dry cures wet, and vice versa. Galen was extremely meticulous in his texts, telling other doctors exactly how the body worked. The problem? He was so confident that later physicians just stopped questioning him. Basically, Galen's words became law, and even if he was wrong, they were like, it's Galen, and Galen's not wrong. Insert proof meme. It took thousands of years before someone finally said, wait a minute. What if the guy who dissected monkeys doesn't know everything about humans? So ironically, the guy who founded medical experimentation unintentionally stopped it. Even so, Hippocrates and Galen shaped medicine for millennia, but their ideas spread through Islamic word preserved by scholars like Avicenna and came back to Europe in the Middle Ages. So while Hippocrates taught us to think and observe, Galen taught us to experiment. Together, they transformed healing from dreams and goat sacrifices to modern science. Thank you for joining me today, and to honor the Green Brothers, stay curious and don't forget to be awesome.
Created using Powtoon.